Storytime with Tim. Today's story is about meeting Sammy Davis Jr. in Reno, Nevada. Yeah, when I was a kid, my parents and I, just the three of us, we go down to Reno at least twice a year. Of course, I was too young to gamble. I was about 8, maybe younger, maybe 7, when we first started going. And we would go down there to Reno, but we didn't stay in Reno. We stayed in a little town outside of Reno, or right next to each other, called Sparks. That's where they have the airplane races and all that out there. When we stayed at a place called the Pony Express Motel, and it had a swimming pool, just ideal for a kid to keep busy while the parents went in town and gambled. And there was a service. It was called with the Pony Express. It was a shuttle, right? It was a bus or a van, and it would come by about every hour and drop people off that were at the casinos downtown Reno or in Sparks. Of course, we were close enough to Sparks, you probably could have just walked there, but they had the service, and for kids like me, we could just get on there and go downtown and go see the Harold's movies that they ran. Just Disney movies and stuff, all for free. It was a courtesy service for the parents who were gambling that wanted something for their kids to do while they were in gambling. So the shuttle was pretty cool, to kind of go back and forth as we wanted, and then go back, the Pony Express to, go swimming. And I spent a lot of time in that pool for sure. So one night, the mom and dad say, "Hey, let's go into the Harold's Club, and we're going to have dinner, and we're going to take you with up and have a nice dinner." And Dad said, "We can walk through the casino as long as we're heading right straight to the elevator with the kid, because of the restaurant. You ride the elevator up to I think it was like the 5th floor or something like that. We would go up there and go into the restaurant, eat, come down, and then they'd walk me right straight, out the front. So I wasn't in the gambling area. And so we did. We got all dressed up and everything and ready to go. And then my mom, she wanted to gamble a little bit more while Dad and I went up and got the reservations for the table. And so she stayed down the casino. I believe that's what happened, because it was just my dad and I when we went up the elevator. So we go up the elevator to the 5th floor, and the elevator opens, and guess who's waiting on the elevator to come downstairs? Sammy Davis Jr. and his 2 bodyguards, big guys. Of course, Sammy Davis Jr. is a pretty small guy. He was probably not much taller than I was at 7 or 8 years old. And so Dad, of course, we recognized him right away. Dad wanted to sit there and talk to Sammy, and Sammy Davis Jr. was being really friendly, even though, they had some place to go, I'm sure. So he listened to my dad, and they talked right there outside the elevator. And so he missed the ride down, of course, being my dad wanted to talk to him. So they just kind of stood there waiting for the elevator to come back up, and the bodyguard pushed the button, So they had that much time to talk. And I can't remember exactly what Dad was asking him. Probably just a normal tourist star stuff, But they talked for a little bit, and then when the elevator opened up, Sammy shook my dad's hand. He gave me a handshake, and off they went, you know. I remember he had those tinted glasses, but you could still see his eyes. Not like some people, like Stevie Wonder would wear dark glasses where you couldn't even see his eyes, you know. But Sammy Davis had kind of a lighter tint glasses, and you could see his eyes. And he has one. I believe he had one blind eye that was, you know, facing a different direction, you know. So it was kind of weird looking, but, you know, super nice guy, you know. And so we went in, and Mom came up, and we had a big old dinner. I think it was seafood of some kind, you know. And we got done with dinner, and they wanted to gamble some more. So Dad walked out with me to the shuttle, you know, and I got on board, and there was other people on it, of course, and I had my own key. It went back to the Pony Express hotel and went in and watched TV, you know. Things are sure different these days, you know, with kids, you know. God, you just can't trust people out there anymore, you know. Back then, God, we could just do whatever back then, you know, especially boys. I know it was different for girls, you know, but of course, from what you hear on the news about boys and, you know, priests and stuff like that, maybe it wasn't so different, you know. One reason I'm glad I quit going to Catholic school, my mom pulled me out when I was up in Bellingham. I went to the Holy Rosary Church. I think it was up there in Bellingham. I think it's still there. And I was up there, and I only went like 2 weeks. In the 2 weeks I was there, of course, I couldn't keep my mouth shut, you know, around the nuns, you know. They were trying to teach a class, and I would start talking to the kid next to me, and they would drag me up in front of the class by the ear and take a ruler and smack it across my hand in front of everybody. And man, that hurt, you know. It's like, you know, hold out your hands, you know, palms or wrists. I can't remember. I think it was the palms. Hold out your palms. Whack, you know. And so I told Mom about that, and she wasn't too thrilled about it. It was my dad's idea for me going to Catholic church, not my mom. So she was already pissed off about that. So there was a recess one day, and we went out in, you know, the yard was, you know, playground basically. It had tetherball and monkey bars and all this other stuff, you know. But towards the back of the little baseball field or wherever they had was a great big huge, well, not big huge, but there was a stage of some kind, right? It was a elevated platform, and but it didn't have any railings around it. It was just a flat platform, and so the kids were pushing each other off the platform. Of course, in front it was grass, and you hit the grass and roll and ha, you know. But behind the platform was this great big freaking boulder, and this one girl pushed me off the backside, and the next thing I knew, I was waking up in the hospital up in Bellingham, and they stitched up my head, a bunch of stitches. I guess I hit my head right on that rock. And my mom, when I got home from the hospital, she went and had a real heated conversation with my dad that I was going to start public school. I was not going to go back to a Catholic school ever again. And that was the end of that, you know. So I know that kind of getting off track of the Sammy Davis Jr. story, but I figured, hey, what the heck, you know. The story of Sammy Davis Jr. wasn't really that long, so I figured I'd tell you a little bit more of my early years. But I have a lot more stories, so stay tuned and I will share them with you. I'm going to try for every Friday, you know. I'll put one out, see if you guys like it. Please subscribe and leave comments. Thanks.